Hey there, listeners and hearers. It's your favorite author, Lisa Walker McCrae. Welcome back. We're about to get into another riveting story time brought to you from the pages of my novel, A Peculiar Kind of Love. Remember, you guys, this video is for entertainment purposes only. First and foremost, let's give praise to the Most High Yah, and a special shout out to those that are still chiming in. Thank you so much for lending me your ears. Much love from this way. With that being said, let's get this party started and turn some pages. Chauncey, set the stage. Okay, my faithful earlenders, let's revive those imaginations with a quick recap from our last story time. As we all know, Marcus and Drew are very much in love. They're planning their wedding and things were going well. Everyone was doing their part. Therefore, everything was sunshine and roses until they turned into storm clouds and rain after Marcus was robbed. Yeah, our boy got held up by some youngster. The whole ordeal had him shook. For Marcus, the robbery brought back hidden fears and new anger, along with knowledge of who shot his parents. Fortunately, we left him and Drew trying to calm the fear and anxiety that vexed his soul. It was a lot for Marcus. His legs were shaking so bad he had to go take a seat on Jay's porch. Drew sat with him. She rubbed his back, praying a silent prayer. Marcus palmed his face, letting out a sigh. Drew gently pulled his hands down. "Talk to me, baby," she insisted. Marcus cleared the tears from his throat, then proceeded to tell Drew about the night his parents were shot. "My dad was locking up for the night, and this guy comes knocking at the door just like tonight. The guy begged him for a haircut. My dad, being the man he is, unlocked the door. I sat across from my dad. I love to watch him cut hair," Marcus smiled. Drew returned the smile. It did her heart well to see Marcus's spirit was calming. He continued. "So my dad finished cutting the guy's hair. He went into his pocket. My dad thought to pay him. Instead, he pulled out a gun and demanded money. My dad tried talking to him, but he just wanted money." The guy's face flashed in Marcus's memory. Drew could see the fear and hurt in Marcus's face as he relived that horrible night. Marcus continued, informing Drew his mother must have felt something because she came from the back, and as soon as she walked in, the guy shot her. Marcus hurried to wipe an escaped tear, then continued. "My dad wasted no time running to cover my mother before any more bullets hit her. That's when he got shot in the back." Drew listened. Marcus continued. "He told her after the guy shot his parents, he turned the gun on him, and if his aim would have been just a little bit to the right, he'd have been shot dead." Marcus heard the phantom gunshot. "A free haircut and $80, Marcus aggressively voiced. "My mom was pregnant with Michael. How could someone shoot a pregnant woman? Michael could have died. My mother could have died because of this selfish bastard." Marcus's fear was now turning to anger. He informed his mother could never have any more children after that. Drew couldn't say a word. The detailed story left a dent in her heart. All she could do was hold Marcus while he cried. "Cry it out, honey bun. Get that hurt up off of you." Anyways, after a good cry, Marcus was calm. Ma Tate handed him a cup of caramel tea. She herself was on a rant. "I can't believe someone robbed you, Marcus. Everyone knows you over there. You've given all those young men free haircuts once or twice." Ma Tate shook her head with aggravation. "Now, who would be so selfish to do that?" she asked and stated. "That's what I'm saying," Drew agreed, pleading that Marcus sell the shop. She'd gotten scared it would happen again, but fatal the next time. Marcus tried calming Drew because selling the shop was the last thing on his mind. "It's all good, baby. Baby, I'm good. It was probably a new cat out there that's not familiar with the neighborhood." Drew shook her head repeatedly, accepting no excuses. She wanted Marcus to get rid of the shop. Calm down, Drew. Get this man space to breathe. Marcus know what he needs to do, Jay stated, rubbing Drew's shoulder trying to calm her. Jay could see Drew getting on Marcus's nerve and about to get all dramatic about the situation. So, he used the wedding as an escape for Marcus and himself. He suggested the women get back to work before Drew dropped tears over more than just a shot. Marcus was somewhat relieved. He asked Jay to join him on the front porch. Jay was game. He grabbed a couple of beers from the fridge and followed Marcus outside. Anywho, the pair had been sitting on the porch for a little minute trying to make sense of the situation. Actually, being held up was one of Marcus's biggest fears. He aggravatedly punched the palm of his hand. What if Drew would have been there, he asked. Man, I can just... Marcus's anger level went from 0 to 100 real quick. He went on and on and on about what he would have did to the youngster if he didn't have that gun. Noticing the robbery taking effect on his friend, Jay spoke. He told Marcus he understood the aggravation, but he needed to humble himself because things could have been worse, and to be thankful that Drew wasn't there. Jay's words fell on deaf ears, honey. Marcus understood and he was thankful Drew wasn't there, but the aggression was hitting a little different. Marcus explained he wouldn't be so mad if he didn't know the man, if the man hadn't been in his shop, but he did, and that's what made matters worse. I was young and I couldn't do anything, but I'm grown now, Jay. I can do something. You know what I'm saying, man? Marcus looked over at Jay for understanding. I can at least do something to keep this from happening again. Jay listened. Marcus continued his case, informing he wanted to let it go, but something inside just wouldn't allow it, that he needed to confront this man in order to get over the fear. Marcus further explained that it was crazy because he had sympathy for the young man that robbed him, but he had nothing for the man that shot his family. Me and this dude need to have a conversation, Marcus expressed. Now, Jay wasn't on board with Marcus confronting this man. He wanted him to get over his fears, yes, but not by confronting this guy. Jay felt it went against Marcus's better judgment. Look, Mark, you're only feeling this way because this guy hurt your family. He hurt your people. If he'd have walked away like this guy did tonight, you wouldn't be so angry. Jay clutched Marcus's shoulder, explaining it was more hate than fear he carried, and confronting a man with that inside wasn't smart. Marcus shook his head, voicing he'd ran the barbershop since before he was out of high school, and nobody ever robbed him. There was a silence. Jay pondered on the matter a moment, then spoke. He asked Marcus what was he gonna do because Drew wasn't letting up about him selling the shop. She was scared to death and he didn't blame her. Letting out a sigh of frustration, Marcus thought Jay would be understanding, but wasn't sure whose side he was on because here he was practically stating that he'd sell the shop too. So, you're saying sell my dad's shop? Marcus asked and stated. With a disagreeing shake of his head, Marcus voiced the shop had been in his family for over 60 years and there was no way he could sell it. Humbly, Jay made it clear that he understood the attachment because he himself had a son that he would like to leave a legacy with, but not at the cost of his life. Marcus shook his head. Jay took a drink of his beer, then spoke. Look, man, you got 3 shops. It will not hurt you to close that one down. Like Mama said, you're practically cutting hair over there for free anyway. Disappointedly, Marcus agreed, but he explained the only reason why he did that was because most of the young men couldn't afford haircuts, and it was his way of giving back to the community. Jay could understand Marcus's heart for the community. They lived in Shiloh their entire lives, and giving back to the community was honorable, but at what cost? I know what you're trying to do, but Shiloh isn't the same anymore, man, Jay expressed. Jay shook his head. He could remember when Shiloh City was one of the most thriving and safest cities around. Now it was overpopulated, filled with drugs, overwhelming with crime, and just ruthless. Jay was glad he followed his parents out to the rural area of Promise, Texas. They'd moved there after he graduated high school, so he was no stranger to the small town. Sure, it was a little over an hour drive from Shiloh City, but that didn't matter. Promise had everything Jay and Gabe needed. Of course, he went to the city for business and entertainment, but that was about all. Jay knew Promise was the best and safest move he could have ever made. Promise was a small town, not very populated, about 2,500 to 3,000 souls, give or take. And that was cool with Jay. Fewer people, less crime. Jay was also amused by the predominantly black community of ranchers and farmers who were always willing to give a helping hand when needed. Okay, you guys, let me give y'all a quick backstory on Promise, Texas to get those imaginations stimulated. The Promise community was established in 1866 by formerly enslaved African Americans. Promise was said to have been one of the most significant freedmen communities in Texas, housing wall-to-wall black-owned businesses, schools, newspapers, and churches. Unfortunately, Promise was brought to her knees after the abolishment of Jim Crow laws in 1964, which led many of the residents and business owners to relocate in Shiloh City, where opportunity and success came easier, thus leaving Promise with only a few people to keep her going. Fortunately, the small town was still active and growing now that a lot of people were leaving Shiloh City for safety. Promise wasn't radiant, but peaceful. Your typical small town, housing 2 grocery stores, a small clinic, and your usual authentic downtown that consisted of about 25 buildings that had been renovated and modernized for various small businesses. The town's schools were convenient as well, being that they were all on the same street, other than a high school that was only 5 minutes from town. That didn't bother Jay either. He liked the idea of Gabe being educated by neighbors and friends, people he had backgrounds on. Now, don't sleep on Promise. The town did have its modern upgrades, like the Sonic, Family Dollar, and Pizza Hut, but that's about it. All in all, the people in Promise, including Jay, loved their small community and fought to keep it that way. I can't say I blame them. I love a small town and community myself. Forever a small town girl. Anyway, pushing forward, back in Shiloh, Detective Miller had just reviewed the results from the fingerprints taken at Marcus's barbershop. Chill out, people. This story is fiction. Of course, fingerprint results come back in 20 minutes or less. I'm just saying. Anywho, Miller noticed the same prints match patterns at another scene. He shook his head when noticing the suspect was only 15 years old with no priors. He also noticed the young man came from a good home. Why is he out here robbing folks? Miller asked Self, shaking his head with disappointment. He was determined to find the young man before he got into any more trouble. In a way, Miller felt obligated to find this guy, being that he was the first officer on the scene when Marcus's parents got shot. Looking down at the profile, Miller asked Self, how does a young man like this get caught up in the streets? He then called out to his assistant, asking her to run a line on the young man. It pained him to see yet another young brother headed for the penitentiary. Taking a look at the profile, Miller's assistant stated, wow, they're getting younger and younger. Yep, in real life too, sweetheart. Anyways, proceeding with our story time, it's the next night, and Marcus had been sitting outside the Stone Ridge Apartments for over an hour, waiting on the man responsible for his parents' shooting. Oh man, Marcus, what are you doing? Marcus had spent the entire day gathering information about the man so he could confront him. Reggie Hardaway, Marcus stated while looking down at the guy's mugshot, displeased that he'd only gotten 2 years for what he did to his parents. Y'all see, for Marcus, that wasn't enough time. Reggie had taken so much, and he needed to understand if he came near Marcus's family again, there would be consequences. Oh, sucky now. Our boy Mark don't have any games to play, huh? He's standing on business tonight. Anywho, in his wait, Marcus's phone rung. It was true. He dared not answer it. Marcus was there to prove a point and knew Drew would only try to talk him out of what needed to be done. So, he sent her call to voicemail and waited a little while longer. Now, everything in him was saying let it go, But the hurt, the fear, and the pain, and the anger, it just wouldn't allow it. Even Jay's words were being whispered in Marcus's ear, but the intervention wasn't enough to overthrow the decision to put the same fear in Reggie he'd held on to all those years. Oh snap! I brought Marcus at the point of no return. My. He's not thinking, he's not listening, he's not praying, nothing. This is not good. Unfortunately, this is the end of our story time, you guys. But y'all can always meet me back over here so we can find out what's gonna pop off next. So, feel free to stop by. Until then, put this in your mental. Y'all is already at the finish line before you ever get started. Huh? Y'all bless this reading and yourselves. Smooches!